No, I'm pretty confident it's not going to be good news, but...
Well, you're correct. So it does show what they were worried about, which is pancreatic cancer in the liver.
Okay.
What do you want to start with?
Hello, yes.
You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. If you're here and you don't know who I am, then that's probably a good thing. But if you're here and you want to know who I am, that's a good thing too. If you're here and you want to understand things better about who I am or who I was, then this is also a good time for you to be here. The only time it's not a good time for you to be here is if you're not here either.
Do you want to talk about who you are?
Yeah, that's what the whole thing is. That's what all of this is. But well, my name is Jeph Johnson. People know me as a lot of things. They know me as Daddy-O. They know me as when I do karaoke. They know me as Rex Songs. That was the name I made up. I have terminal pancreatic cancer, meaning I want to take care of some of these videos and end-of-life things so that, because I won't be around to answer these questions for too much longer. So I have my friend recording me now, and there I am.
What do you want to have happen with these videos?
I want everybody to see him that wants to see him. I was born in 1966. I don't remember much from being a very young child at all. My mom and dad got divorced when I was, I think, 2 maybe, and moved down to Texas with her, but for a very, very short time. They were only divorced less than a year. I don't even know if that's possible. And then they got remarried within the same year, I think. But so we lived in, my mom and I lived in El Paso, Texas, and she had, I would say, in those short 9 months, she must have had at least 3 different boyfriends, which, hey, I'm not one to talk. As you will find out in my life, I've had 3 different girlfriends in one bed at the same time. So I'm not going to judge my mom on any way, shape, or form in a negative way. I'm just saying she was way different than my dad, who, from all I can tell, didn't have even a partner after my mom divorced him for that short time, but I guess he talked like he did. So that's kind of the other part of my, what my parenting was like, I think.
Okay.
I just want to talk about my formative years as a child, and it's almost, what's the word? My sister would know the word. Yeah, my brain, I think this cancer's hitting my brain because certain things just don't even come out anymore. It's stuck. It's like therapeutic, is that the word?
Cathartic?
Maybe. Some of these things I've kept deeper inside and maybe hadn't thought about in a while. Mm-hmm. So reflective is a good word. So that's why I want to go over some of this high school and the stuff in there.
Okay.
That was Jenny. This is Jenny. At the end of the baseball diamond, her and I were there, and everybody else was doing playground stuff. So it was the first intimate time I ever had. You know, we were 7 years old or something, but that's the earliest I can remember. And it was wonderful. God, it was wonderful. just having a beautiful woman sharing attention with you and sharing that intimacy is just something I really like. And then after high school, from 18 to 23, I started going to community college. And I started getting more spiritual. It wasn't Christian. It was my own kind of faith, if you will. I called it the glow. My sister will laugh because we joke about it sometimes too. But it was kind of, basically it was pretty simplistic now that I've studied, different religions and different philosophies. But at the time when you're just out of high school, makes the most sense when, especially if you come up with it on your own. It was like, well, all things, there's just good, and then all things that portray the elements that are good are that part of that good, but only in the parts that those parts actually meet. It still involves an absolute truth that is kind of vague sometimes. It's not perfect, but when you're a young kid, it's like, it's the easiest way to deal with it. Like, oh, do you believe in Christianity? I'm like, sure, why not? If there's good to it, I believe in it. That was kind of what I wanted to believe. The focus was more just being goofy and funny with my friend Jeph. That's all we did in high school. We were just kind of, in community college. Yeah, my friend Jeph. Oh, sure. It's kind of funny because he actually. There was a girl I had this crush on in college who actually kissed me. We went on a date and I remember kissing her and flipping out and telling Jeph how cool it was. And it's like we'd have this joke. Anytime I got out with her once and that was all that ever happened, right? But Jeph always, whenever we'd do anything, because we were buddies, we'd hang around and oh, look at her ass or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever it was, or if I start talking about a different girl or something, he'd go, remember Kelly? Like, my mom did tell me a story though about my dad, how he was funny and he incorporated humor in his sexuality, which is not anything akin to what I would do. I totally would be doing that sort of thing. But she did tell me one time that on their honeymoon, which, remember, they're like probably seeing each other naked for the first time on their honeymoon because my mom and dad were from that age, where you might wait till you're married to have sex. I don't know. Some weird ancient idea. Anyway, she remembers my dad. She went in the bathroom to get ready. It was the honeymoon night and stuff, and I guess my dad had laid down and tucked his penis down between his legs so that when she came out, she would see him laying there without, with the gender she hadn't intended, kind of. When I started working at Tower and that's when I got into a pretty lonely part of my life. And that's when Christianity really sits around waiting for those lonely guys pretty badly, I think. Just grabs you. It makes you feel so good. That's what women don't understand, how good they can make a man feel. I think it's because men don't appreciate it the way they should. But it could just be maybe they do and they don't care. I don't know. We have to talk about my cowboy days too. We'll get there too.
The cowboy days.
You mentioned line dancing, and yes, that was something that a lot of people did, but it wasn't what I did. In fact,
What was your country dancing phase made up of?
Well, I did the two-step occasionally. I do a waltz, but I wanted to do a dance where I was in the lead. I was in control, which I guess kind of is what I've always wanted in a partnership, to have some kind of lead or control in it. It feels like I would be overvaluing it if I didn't really support this. I'm not going to wave a flag about it. because I'm going to wave the flag because I support it. You know, where so many people don't do that at all. Like, even the most respected people in the world don't. Like, you have to live life a different way just to get around. And I've never done that. I think that's one of the proudest things in my life is I've never had to compromise ever in my entire life unless I wanted to. You know? I mean, I've done a lot of compromising, but I haven't needed to. Like, I've compromised because, okay, I didn't want to go to school, so I had to get a shit job and didn't make any money. So I have compromised, but like, I've never compromised on my deepest desires, I guess, or my deepest passions. So these girls would ask me if I line dance, and I'm like, no. And I go, do you know why God invented line dancing? And my answer was, so guys like me can sit back and decide who to two-step with. So anything can be everything. A dirty old man. And here's where we get into the good stuff. You didn't pause it.
No, I didn't.
You're trying to.
Just left.
Well, then I don't know. This is my necklace. This is. You get to see the hi, Daddy-O. Hi. Okay, so I think with Tammy, everything that she doesn't like to be given praise. I think she enjoys that people give it to her, but I think it makes her uncomfortable when she's given praise, especially publicly and things. In fact, I know that she's told me because people do want to praise her publicly because she's an amazing person that gets shit done that nobody else can get done. Yeah, I don't want this to sound like things negatively about Tammy because she is in my life. I would say beyond my mother even. Like my mother being a close second, but probably has been a greater influence to me and an effect or influencer in my life than any human being that's ever lived, you know. So that's kind of a big deal, I think, but maybe she doesn't like that kind of praise. So this song is one of the greatest songs ever written. Probably could go higher up on my list, to be honest, but yeah, this song, I want to give the intro before I play a little of it. Glen Campbell had what I'm probably getting now too because I can't remember anything. What's it called that he had?
I don't
When
know.
you can't remember things?
Like dementia?
Yeah,
Or
but they're
Alzheimer's?
both. I think he had both. And he was they actually made a documentary about that.
Oh, really?
About him struggling with that because he did a final tour when he already knew he had it, and so he was struggling with dealing with that. And it's a great movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. And he actually recorded a song called "I'm Not Gonna Miss You." Basically, it's about him passing or getting old with the dementia and stuff, and he's basically saying the greatest thing about you being, you're the last person I'll ever love. You're the, and the greatest thing of all is I'm not going to miss you. Because number one, he won't miss her because he has dementia, but also, she's the last person he'll ever love. It's a fucking beautiful song, and it makes me feel like, it's almost like when you can't have a rewarding, hell yeah, I conquered this or that, you can at least succumb to an emotional release, or, you know what I mean? Like, you can come up with victory in things even if they're not the typical, victory way. Like, I'm not gonna miss you. It's like, it's almost funny, even though it's sad and brings tears to your eyes, just because, anyway, it's kind of. Boom, boom, boom. So you have to try to explain this. Music was playing, and then all of a sudden, this part of the music came in. It was like unexpected, and you have to be open to. When you're doing a mushroom trip, is that what it is? You have to be open to new things coming in, or new, just things that are surprising. You have to be open to that. I mean, I guess, I am open to it. I wasn't like planning that.
Now you know.
My skepticism is coming in there for a minute.
What do you want to talk about?
Just where I'm at. How I'm feeling.
Okay.
Things don't seem unpleasant. The pain of dying is, assuming that's what I'm doing, is accept.
Sometimes you think you're untouchable. Just look behind you, you are but a man. Sometimes you think things can get worse. Just look behind you, you are but a man. So eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow you may be dead. Eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow you may be dead. The struggle for life, you know, it never ends. So look behind you, you are but a man. Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. Look behind you, you are but a man. So eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow you may be dead. Eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow you may be dead. Realize we share the same fate. Understand your own mortality. Our lives are getting shorter.